Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here on this Friday morning. Got a really good show lined up. But first, let's take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and a hard-working crew taking care of everyday comfort needs. And I got tickled looking at today's temperature, high 68, low 63. Not much variance right there. But check this out. The water temperature at the end of the pier is exactly 64.9. So let's round it up to 65. I just looked back on last Friday's water temperature. It was 61. Folks, the water temperature has gone up 4 degrees in 1 week. Northern Thibodeau, you listening this morning? I know the Thibodeau family, they're a long-time fishermen here, and they're well aware of this, what's going on there. So that's a really big deal to go that high in 1 week. Now, it'll dip back down a little bit, off and on, but it'll gradually work its way up. Our high today, like I say, it may hit 70, but 69 is what they're calling for. River readings brought to us by Panama City, Coca-Cola. Good folks down there. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown is 8.9, and it's steady for the weekend. And the Choctaw at Carabelle, 5.8, and it's steady. They just dropped out just a tenth of a foot last night. So really good shape for the river this weekend on both of them. Take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Friday, March the 1st. Can y'all believe it's March? So neap tide today, a little bit of a tide tomorrow, but next week's tide are really strong. So that's going to be, we got a decent tide. It's going to be high at 12:47 this morning, low 103 tonight. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the fishing game times today. And this segment right here brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're talking about 2:53 to 4:53 this morning, and this afternoon 3:16 to 5:16. Our wind will be coming east, southeast at about 8. Not bad day. All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and on our phone from Sea Quarters Marina, Captain Kim is with us. Always good to hear from them and see what's going on down your way. Good morning, Captain Kim.
Good morning, Mr. Chester. How's everything out your way?
We're doing well. Tell us about what's going on down in that beautiful area we know is Carabelle and Sea Quarters.
Oh, yes, sir. We just had a paddleboard guy paddle past the office here about a half hour ago, raising up a good trout, and y'all can probably still see him on the webcam. He's going towards the bridge right now, but trout's been hitting pretty good, and there's been a lot of catfishing going on. Okay. Now we got the trigger fish open, so hope to get some people out here Saturday. Seems like hopefully it'll be a good day. Oh,
that'll be good. You know, the Spanish, we all be opening up with the Spanish mackerel?
Oh, yeah, that's usually a pretty good bite this time of year.
Well, I hadn't thought about people just coming up in there catching speckled trout and redfish all around the Sea Quarters, I guess.
Oh, sure, right out front, yeah. Mr. Beebe's been having a good time catching the brim up the river.
Okay.
So he's been doing real good with those. Pretty good size brim, too, actually.
All right, someone asked me about the clarity of the Carabelle River. I know when the tide's going out, the river's bringing all that stuff from Tate's Hell, so it's a little muddy, but then when the tide's going in, it sort of pushes it back up. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is. And usually the trout bite is better on an incoming tide.
On the incoming tide. Okay. You hear much from any kind of surf fishing out there in the bay? They're catching any redfish or trout?
Well, mostly sea bass for the last week or so, because the weather's been so iffy, so they're not going too far out.
Right.
Off the beach, they've been working on trying to catch sharks, and there have been a couple of those caught.
Good deal.
So, it's been pretty good, really.
Well, keep us posted, too, on when they start catching those pompano next month or so keep us posted on that. But that all sounds good, Captain Kim. Thank you.
Hey, you're very welcome. Y'all have a great weekend.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
You bet. Bye.
All right. It's always great talking to them down there, folks. That's the last real Florida. It's as simple as that. And if you can get down there and just hang out, and just go down, there's so many neat places you can go to. All right, now we have some pictures. I'm going to get them lined up. Talking about neat places, neat things. Let's jump into some of these pictures real quick. Before before I do that, I want to make an announcement because I just ran across this. This is cool right here. Have I lost it, Jeff? Okay. You know, we're talking so much about being plugged into our phones and all, you know, having to, and I'm as bad as everybody else, always having to do this and all. But today, technically, check this out. This is a National Day of Unplugging. Okay, Friday, there it is right there. I didn't know this. Friday, March the 1st, in honor of National Day of Unplugging, we invite you to join us taking a break. Unplugging doesn't mean missing out. It means creating space for new and refreshing experiences. Folks, there's a lot to be said about this. I was joking, you know, about it, but in all seriousness, there's a lot to be said about it. I love the picture because here they are, surf fishing and being unplugged. And it goes on to say, here's some things you do in Florida. Of course, you can do fishing, all kind of fishing here today. Wildlife recreation, that's an umbrella for everything that you can get done, and just getting out on a boat or something. So those three things, a National Day of Unplugging. Now, I don't know if that's a paid holiday for folks and all, but it's important. So anyway, in fact, I tell you what, honestly, I'm gonna set my phone down. I'll be going home today. I've got some honeydews to do, so I'm gonna let Gail keep my phone so she can't bother me. But I'm gonna unplug. I'm gonna unplug today. I'll check my phone at lunch, and I'm flat out gonna do it. And we all need to do that, okay? All right, here we go. Here was some pictures. David Bird sent this. Talking about, you know, putting up martin houses. Is this not a cool way to do it? You have this big old metal wheel, and it said, Beck and I are getting ready for the martins this year and years to come. Now this will last a good while. These are the artificial gourds, and then he's got it set up on a metal like that, and it's spread out, and that's going to be entertaining. Good job, David Bird. I like that a lot. Okay, I got a quote from Abraham Lincoln. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. Pretty strong, isn't it? I'm going to send that to the family. I love that. Crystal Bullock, she teaches English over at Bay High School, and she has this camera in a bluebird house, and her first bluebird visitor of the season, he and his wife were in and out all afternoon just doing a little house shopping. So right now the bluebirds are going out there, so we'll keep posted on it. We have our bluebird boxes out. Oh, we have got a couple of pictures. We have received a couple of pictures. This Panhandle surf fishing. This is on the west end of the beach. You're going to get some scatter pumping on now. Don't get excited, but what that one is right there, that's not a migratory fish. That one stayed up here the whole time. That's why it's so big. If it's migratory, he wouldn't be as big. And a couple more. We're going to take a break. Bert Davis from Mariana, the Davis family, Sam Davis's family. Isn't that cool? And this happens how a tree grows around obstacles, and then somebody's creative enough to put some eyes on it. So thank you, Bert Davis, for sharing that picture. And we always talk about a Japanese magnolia. That's the first one that comes out for the spring. And this is down in Weewall at Dead Lakes, Laura Bush. Hers is coming out. I have not seen, I'm going out this weekend looking for some Japanese magnolia. I had one in my yard, and it got cut down, but anyway. So anyway, well, we're right on the verge of spring, and when that Japanese magnolia starts blooming, it just, you know, goes in order. You know, have the dogwoods and the azaleas and all. And I've always gotten a kick out of it. That's nature at its best. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. On Monday's show, I'm going to have Commissioner Bill Dozier come in, Bay County Commissioner. He's been a regular on our show off and on through the years he's been in there, and we're going to get him to answer the question, what in the world is going on with charging fees for parking at the county pier? And Bill will always be up front with us, and we're going to get that answered. And so we're looking forward to having Bill on the show and seeing what's going on, because we want to take care of the outdoorsmen as much as we can. And I probably usually, when you hear something like that, it's usually more to the story, so we're going to hear the whole story. Okay, now let's take one thing with springtime coming back. I got a note from Ned Maxwell, and same thing happened to me, must be the same day. The carpenter bees have returned. Back before all this wind came in, we had a day or two where a couple of carpenter bees came in, and Ned's up there in Chattahoochee, so they're hitting Chattahoochee and Southport. Along with springtime and warm weather coming, we all get the boats, out. So check out this picture here because this is so true. Warm weather is coming, and so are these people. Bless their heart. And we got to do all we can to help them. And sometimes I've actually backed boats up for people. And they're coming down from Georgia and Alabama. They don't have that much experience, and we need to help them out. It's entertaining, and and you want to help them at the same time. So you can be entertained at a boat ramp. J.B. Hillard with a Choctawhatchee River fishing. Listen, we're talking about catfishing. J.B.'s talking about it's a beautiful morning above Caryville. We were the only boat at the landing. The river is coming alive with, listen to this, the river is coming alive with the buds and the flowers up and down the banks, and the water is in near excellent condition at 60 degrees, 5.8 feet of Caryville. The bite was not that hot, but he kept 4 decent eaters, and I say they did pretty good. They got some eaters and all, and catfishing is good this time of year. We're going to talk about it in the fishing report. Good job, J.B. Hillard. Okay, y'all excuse my sense of humor, but they met online. Okay, stop and look at that a minute. That's a clothespin. Okay, they met online on the clothesline. All right, move on. Michael Harris sent this, the annual Rumble in the Swamp, where took the kids up there to Andalusia, Seasons of Hope. Now Michael was under the weather and was not able to go this year. Hey, Coach, here's some pics and videos from a rabbit hunt. The kids had a big time. Thank you for your continued support. So here are the pictures from this past weekend. Great pictures. The Southeastern Dog Hunters Association and Seasons of Hope. That's the group that puts it on. And these kids have a ball. So I've got several pictures here. Here they are here. That is a big rabbit right there. Look at that middle one, and the other two not bad. And the beagles running the dogs, running the rabbits, and some mother-daughter time walking in the fields. Is that not classic? Some dad-son time walking across there looking for rabbit tracks. Okay, so good job there. This is always interesting. Every now and then I'll post it because we're getting around flood season, but this is March, and this is the old bridge, what they call the old Victory Bridge, coming from Chattahoochee, going into Sneeds there. And I'm gonna start down here at the bottom. This is flood stage. This is by the Army Corps of Engineers. So it's right there, flood stage, that mark right there. So let's go up and see, over the years, they've marked it out. In March, keep in mind, March of 1990, it was 74.5 feet. Let's go up, how about March? The next one is March of 98. Okay, 76.5 feet, a big flood. Okay, how about the next one? March of 1925, almost 100 years, 99 years ago this month. It was at 77.6. This is interesting to me. And then right after that, this is what in July of 04 or 94, maybe it was 94, 78 feet. And then another March the 20th of 1920 or 29, that was almost 100 years ago, 79.6, and that's the highest it's ever been, March of 1920. So that's the flood stages, that's the Victory Bridge, and that's a railroad track, but it's right below Lake Seminole. So that was just some interesting information I wanted to share with you because we're at that point now where we get a lot of spring floods, and it affects, not when you see it there, it's all through the Apalachicola River system, and the same thing's going on. If there's that much rain here, usually that much rain in Choctawhatchee. So always be prepared for the spring floods. 4 out of 5 of those were in March. Okay, a couple more pictures. This is my buddy Howell Montgomery, played up there in Bluntstown. Jennifer Wilson Kappelman sent this, and her husband Bill Kappelman, and Howell fish. Usually fly fishing, and that's a big fish. Howell played football at Florida State, and Bill Kappelman was a quarterback way back in the day, back when they had leather helmets almost. But these guys love to fish up in that area. I want them to come on the show. If y'all are watching this morning, y'all got to come on the show. Mandy had Gail and I was able to have a good dinner with Mandy and Megan and their dad, Mike Miller, at Harrison's restaurant the other night. We had the best time, but she she posted this, and it's so important this time of year. We understand this is a pregnant female. Okay, right there, we see that yellow. That's the eggs, but we do not keep these. If you're crabbing recreation, always throw these back. And most people are really good about it. Some people just don't know any better. So that's our future population. That last sentence, a female can only get pregnant once and it becomes matured and won't mate again. And once they're mature, when we harvest them, but when they're young and like that, we don't want to harvest them. So anyway, let's end up on this funny one here, because this time of year, plants, okay, on the left-hand side, plants you'll kill in 2 weeks, $12. Then the next category, plants you'll kill in 3 weeks, $15. And plants you'll kill in 5 weeks, $20. A lot of y'all can identify with this. The plants are so beautiful now in all of the nurseries and all this stuff. It's interesting, but a lot of times those plants don't last. And spring, March is a great time. I've got a list here of the top 10 things to do in March. I don't have time to go over it, but one of them is planting, getting your garden ready and all that. So anyway, let's get into our to our drawing. I wanted to, this weekend now is going to be a good time to get out. We're going to add a new name here. Brownie Parkman. Brownie is a retired captain down in Apalachicola. Brownie, we appreciate you watching and appreciate all of you were captain. I know that was some challenging times back in the day. Okay, we're going to add you to the list. All right, now, let's stir it all up. All right. I don't even know the better way to do it, but we see we're about to, we got to get a bigger jar or something, or get more winners. All right, the $20 gift certificate at Tarpon Dock Seafood is, I'm gonna get it right here in the middle part. All right, and the winner is, all the way from Callaway, Carolyn Forehand, Tarpon Dock. Okay, and the winner of the Big Red Snapper, which is so good this time of year, all the way from Fountain, Joshua Pike. That's our two winners right there, Carolyn Forehand and Joshua Pike. And thank Tarpon Dock for doing that each week. We appreciate y'all. We're going to take a break, come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back and welcome to the famous Friday fishing forecast. It's brought to us each Friday by Jessica Ling Insurance and Financial Group up there in Lynn Haven, and also by Matt Andrews' company, Hammerdown Construction, Hammerdown Roofing. Okay, and had some people asked me about getting some roof work the other day, and I said, Matt is your man. And also in insurance and financial information, Jessica Ling is your lady for that. I always love putting this together. At times it's challenging, and this weekend is one of these challenging weekends. Most of the time it's just flat out, here's what's biting. And this is a challenging week because we've had so much wind and all, but I want to start off basically talking about, the first thing I read down was catfish, and you saw the pictures of it, and I mentioned it last week a little bit about catfishing. It's really good this time of year. You saw what they did up in Choctaw River. Here's the Choctaw River here. We talk about, there's so many places to go, and the Choctaw River is just one of my favorite places. And you look at, I'm just going to sort of go through all the places here. But JB was up there in the northern part of the river, and okay, and of course there's Ebro, the boat ramp right there at Ebro. Between there and the bay is just some outstanding fishing all around Bunker and places like that. So catfishing and freshwater is going to be strong. And now this is March, red horse sucker fishing. It's sort of a well-kept secret. All these little creeks up there in Calhoun County, over in upper part of Guff County, over in all these little creeks where the big river, where these red horse suckers are going up the little creeks. I'm talking about some creeks aren't this wide, and you can get them. Even up there in Gaston County, we used to do it in Gaston and Liberty County growing up. So red horse sucker fishing should be good. Move on down. Now remember, we got a new moon coming up this week, and then the full moon at the end of the month. So the moon is going to be critical to bass fishing. The male, you're going to be able to see the males out there right now starting to fan the beds. I've talked to a lot of bass fishermen, and they really start getting excited this time of year. And the river and creeks, I talked about the sloughs and all every year this time of year. The sloughs are really good because the high water pushes all that bait up in there, and then when it goes out, there's a lot of fish. I won't say get trapped, but they just stay up in there because of the food. A lot of brim fishing is always good up in those sloughs and the little feeder creeks, and keep that in mind in the springtime. And it's just some really good fishing. The crappie fishing at Lake Talcott, I had one of my things I was going to show you today was a Lake Talcott crappie fishing Facebook page, where they, just the last week or so, they have, all different people just caught a bunch of the crappie fishing there all throughout Lake Talcott. It's amazing. Good chance to go look at, if you have Facebook, go look at that page, and maybe I can show you too one day next week. Crappie fishing has been outstanding. Let's go to jump in freshwater real quick. I mean, from freshwater to saltwater. Bait fishing has been scattered. I wrote down scattered catches. Trout, has been good, and it's going to be open now. The trout's open, and triggerfish is open. Open up tomorrow, or today actually. So, okay, then bait systems. I've got some really good reports of some folks were just doing some sight fishing this past week for redfish. They were able to get out of the wind, and the red fishing was really good. They caught and released all of them. Most of them are too big. It's big old schools of redfish, just sight fishing, because the water is so clear in the wintertime. We're going to be teased a little in surf fishing. That picture I showed you of the pompano, I call that a teaser fish. It sort of teases you, and you want to get out there and catch a bunch of pompano. Right now, it's a little early for the pompano run to get started, but you will catch some of those that we have from here year round. The Spanish, of course, I love talking about the third fog in March. I know you get every year, 19 years on Panhandle Outdoors, I've been talking about the third fog in March. Long before that came from those captains from long before that, and back in the early 1900s and late 1800s, knowing when to take the nets out. They weren't trolling with a straw rig. They had the nets out, and they were catching thousands of pounds of Spanish in March, and they always got tickled about the third fog in March. Let's see, also the bay's clear. We talked about, I had the Carabel River written down, and we talked about it being muddy as the tide comes in, and then when it comes out, it's really clear. So Captain Kim talked a lot about that. Water temperature, speaking of Spanish, really what it has to do between 66 and 68 is when they really start coming in. And the reason I talk about it, that's the first one, the first migratory fish we have is the Spanish. So finishing up on the bay system, I know in St. Joe Bay, I haven't talked much about St. Joe Bay lately. The redfish bite down there has been strong. Again, they've been able to see the fish tailing, and the guides have been able to take some folks out and some really good catches. So it should be a really good weekend as far as getting out. The catches, I just mentioned what you can catch, and it may not load the boat, but like J.B. Hillard, just keep 3 or 4 of those catfish. That makes you a couple of good meals, and you have a meal yourself, and then give some to your neighbor or the little lady down the street, as my dad would always do, extra brim. So we're going to wrap it up for the week. We've had a good week. Next week's going to be exciting. I know you enjoyed those students we had on yesterday. It's been a great week. So we're going to wrap it up. You have a great weekend. Do something outdoors and get unplugged today. And let me know if you get unplugged and tell me what you did. It's going to be fun. You have a great day. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the great outdoors. Take care of the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.